Today we're looking at the M16 rifle. This is a fully automatic version. It's the popular civilian one is the AR15 and the AR15 type rifles. So we're going to be looking at the actual action. I wasn't able to find videos that actually showed how it worked in detail. So I'm going to just kind of point and show what I can show without taking it apart here. So you'll notice that on the M16 you have a safe and a semi. And from this side, this point of view, nothing really changes when you go from safe to semi. You'll notice the auto sear rotates a little bit. This is the auto sear. You can see it rotates just a little bit. It doesn't actually change anything as far as there. What you're seeing the rotation of is a further piece down that we'll look at in a bit. Now, when you actually go into full auto, the auto sear does move a lot. It actually is coming into play. So I'm going to keep this pointer here. And I'm going to rotate into auto. And you can actually see the sear rotates about 15 degrees. What that's doing, if you look inside, you can actually see that it's actually moving this piece of metal around. So again, we're looking right here. And we're going to just go back from semi to full. So what that actually does is when the hammer comes down, when you're in this full auto mode, you're going to pull the trigger and it's going to fire, and then the bolt, after the round hits, the bolt's going to slide back and it's going to push the hammer back. You actually watch the auto sear just engage. So now we're here. Now the bolt slides back into your buffer tube right here, and you'll notice this buffer tube is for an M4. This is an M4 jury rifle, so it started as an M16 and I have changed the parts to make it an M4. Not related to this. Now what's going to happen is as the bolt comes back, it's going to hit this release right here. And it's going to slide and hit. Whenever you're playing around, you always want to make sure your hammer's not going to hit there. So I'm going to keep my finger here just so I can catch the mechanism. But your bolt's going to hit and it's going to let go. And since I let go of the trigger, we actually hit the auto sear, and then the disconnector actually caught. So the semi-automatic disconnector caught. Now if you pull the trigger again, we could fire again. Now, again, right now, I'm not on the disconnector. I'm actually sitting here on the auto sear. So again, if I hit the auto sear, I fall onto the disconnector. What happens if we actually do fire full auto? So I'm going to hit, the bolt comes, it hits right here. Now it's sitting here on our disconnector. Now the bolt slides back, it's going to hit and let go again. You'll actually notice that as long as I keep the trigger down, the entire trigger mechanism goes out of the way except for the auto sear and the hammer. Nothing else happens. Nothing at all. So what happens though when I go into semi-auto? Well, in semi-auto, you'll notice again the auto sear is going to rotate out of the way. So now I can't catch on that. So in semi-auto, I can only catch on the disconnector, and then I have to let go, and then I can pull the trigger again, and it'll come back. Let go, that's semi-auto. Now if we come back into full auto here, and the person fires the gun, so they're sitting here on the disconnector, they fire the gun, the hammer hits, the bolt pushes it back. Again, you can see we catch here on the auto sear. Now as soon as I let go of the trigger, the bolt's still in the back here right now, and as soon as it hits forward again, it just falls on the disconnector again. So that's how the M16 works. You'll notice if you look down here, see if I can get down in there, you can actually see as you rotate, you can see the selector switch, one, moving the auto sear, has a little rotatey thingy right here, a little cut in the pen, and two, you can actually see that we're rotating these guys as well. When you go into safe, you're literally pushing the piece of metal you see on the top here onto the bottom. That keeps you from being able to pull the trigger. It basically locks it, hard locks that disconnect. So whether or not you're sitting on the auto sear, which we can't move right now, or anything else, it won't fire. So that's basically how this works. If you have any questions, let me know. I guess I can compare it to the standard AR15 type platform. So here's an AR15 lower. Again, this is the version that you buy as a civilian, I guess. You'll notice right off the bat, there's no auto sear in the AR15, right there. Just having that piece of metal, just a tiny piece of metal, if you don't have paperwork, huge felony. You'll go to prison for a long time. You can see here we can only go from safe to semi. It's actually the almost entirely the same mechanism right here. There are some minute differences between the actual pieces. There's a tail maybe that's not connected otherwise. This trigger's a little bit different. This is a match trigger, so it has a very different pull, but it's the same function. If you actually look, decock both of these, you can see the function is very, very similar on the semi-auto portion of it. So milling this piece out, or putting a hole through here, or having this piece right there, even the ATF will say that having the actual disconnector piece with the extended slide on it is also no good, and you'll go to jail. But I can't comment. I am not a lawyer. So there are the differences. Fun guns. If you can get a full auto, I recommend it.